Let's get philosophical for a moment. What does it actually take to be a good diplomat? Is it training? Is it a certain kind of personality? Is there someone that you admire either in the diplomatic corps or outside of it who really illustrates what it takes to be effective at diplomacy?
Oh, well, I'm going to continue what Mikhail mentioned about understanding and listening. I think to be a good diplomat, you have to be a good communicator as well as a good listener. And also, I also think it's crucial to have professional integrity, which in turn leads to credibility. You have to build credibility if you want to work with people, negotiate, and have mutually beneficial outcomes. And the other thing I would like to highlight is the ability to build bridges. And coming from a small country in Asia, this is something that we actually emphasize on the bridge building between two sides, and something that Sri Lanka has excelled at, including in San Francisco in 1951 when they had the San Francisco Conference after World War II. So for me, those are the key features of a good diplomat.
When you threw us that question, I immediately thought of the career diplomats in the Philippines who I've had the great honor to be mentored by. Our former ambassador in Rome, for example, our incoming ambassador to Bogota have been my direct superiors, and I've been, inspired by their different types of leadership. They approach things differently, which gives me added layers of different perspectives on how to personally approach things that come my way. During our class in Georgetown, actually, I learned equally from Q&A when my colleagues would present a fresh take on an issue that's been talked about endlessly. So when I hear those questions, I'm like, oh, that's a nice way of thinking about things, and that's an added lesson. So the whole experience has been very enriching for me.
Looking ahead in your careers, what do you think are issues in the world that will most require skillful diplomacy?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, we've had a module by Professor Elizabeth Grimm of Georgetown discussing traditional and non-traditional threats. So she also mentioned something that, again, struck me is that what the West views as evolving or new threats like climate, public health, and all that are actually traditional threats for Asia, things that we've been grappling with for most of our lives, and we have been born into these issues already. So I think just the idea that the world is now learning how, these transnational problems must be solved together through global cooperation, through regional cooperation. These things really require the skills of a modern-day diplomat.
Rashmi?
With regard to specific areas that I think requires very skillful diplomatic navigation, I would say naturally the conflicts or the trigger points for conflicts at the moment, including in the Asian region. And also, as Mihail said, what the Asians and now all the countries consider as threats to humankind, like climate change, disarmament and non-proliferation. And I would also say, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic and the impact that it has had on the economies of most of the countries, development in general, and catching up with the Sustainable Development Goals will be a very challenging area, but requiring all our efforts.
Tell me some of the other high points of your itinerary. Did you guys get in any shopping or anything else that was fun?
We saved the shopping for San Francisco.
Very wise.
Yes, and we very much look forward to seeing San Francisco more and doing our shopping. We have 2 days left. And we arrived here yesterday, and we liked it. We fell in love with the city.
What about you, Mikhail? Any other high points you'd like to point to?
Yeah, I think I forgot to mention earlier that the leg at Cleveland, particularly our last day at Cleveland, was very, very interesting. The lineup we had was that we met with the ACLU in the morning, which gave us a preview of what human rights work has been like here in the United States, protecting civil liberties. And then in the afternoon, we met with the Republican Party at Cuyahoga County. And then we met with Cleveland Votes, a non-government organization that deals with voter empowerment and disenfranchisement as well.
What a great itinerary.
It was. When I saw the lineup, I was very excited. I've been observing the U.S. Political exercise from my home country, and it's something that I've been enjoying discussing with my own friends, my circles, because it is a very complex process. Each state would have different processes, and then the concept of the electoral college and all that, and to be able to firsthand interact with these bodies, these actors, state actors, non-state actors that actually participate in that political exercise was something I could take home with me and actually boast about with my friends. So.
I've actually been there. You're about to go home, go back to work. Are you excited about the year ahead?
Very much so, actually. I'm very positive and optimistic for my country and as well as for myself. And what we learned here in the United States will definitely help me.
As for me, I'm expecting this year to be posted to my first foreign assignment. I'm very excited about that. And
do you know where it's going to be?
Well,
do you have to try and lobby for the place you want? Or?
Yes. I've always had a keen interest on exploring Philippine-Africa relations. So,
interesting.
Probably in one of our 6 foreign missions in Africa. But there are also some foreign posts. We're opening 4 foreign posts this year. Those are also on the table. So many options for me, but very excited to finally, do the work outside of the home office. But, in the short term, I'd be very excited to hear about my colleagues. 2 of my colleagues in the cohort are expecting children this year. One is getting married in November. So I guess it just shows that, part of the work that we will be doing is to remain in contact and maintain this network and, cherish this very great opportunity that's given to us by the Asia Foundation. So that's it for the short term.
I would also like to pay my deepest gratitude to the Asia Foundation for this very wonderful opportunity provided to us to better understand the United States, its systems, its people, and its perspectives. And you can count on the fact that it will definitely continue to enrich the work that we do as diplomats.
Young diplomats Rajmi Manatunga of Sri Lanka and Mikhail Solitario of the Philippines. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been great.
And that's all for the show, folks. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation, and we'll look for you next time on the In Asia podcast. Until then, I'm John Rieger saying thanks for listening.